My name is Rasmus Branders, I'm with TERA-ASEkeskus, and today we are reviewing the Wicked Medieval Morningstar. Wicked Medieval Morningstar, an overall length of 88 centimeters and a mace diameter of 10 centimeters. The shaft and the ball is made of carbon steel. It comes with steel spikes. With a leather wrapped handle, it weighs 2.28 kilograms. Like and subscribe. Alright, let's talk about the Wicked Medieval Morningstar. First and foremost, you need to realize this is a budget weapon, so when you look to purchase this, it's something just to keep in mind. The first thing I want to talk about are the spikes. This is a screw-on, screw-off mechanic. I personally thought that this actually wouldn't really work so well, that they would always loosen up when you swing it around or fall off or something like this. But since the screw is actually really long into the hollow sphere, they stay on superbly. The spikes in themselves aren't particularly sharp, they actually have a flat edge. And for this weapon in itself, it's not really a bad thing because you don't want the spikes to be too sharp for the risk of them breaking when you actually then smash into something. I do though personally worry a little bit that the spikes could perhaps bend a little bit, especially the longer one on the top if you really hit something from the side or so, because they're not of the sturdiest material, so there's a risk that one of them could snap. So with the spikes, it actually adds tremendous amount of weight, which is really surprising. You don't think that these tiny spikes would add so much weight, but it becomes so much heavier. This though does screw up the balance slightly of the whole general thing, so you don't get as smooth movement, but it gives a much bigger and heavier impact. Now without the spikes, this almost becomes a different weapon. First and foremost, it becomes much lighter, surprisingly much lighter. You wouldn't think that the spikes weigh so much. The balance becomes more centralized, which means you have even faster movement, not just because it's so light, but because it's more optimized for movement. I personally almost prefer it without the spikes. Even though it looks cooler and is heavier and more menacing with the spikes, it simply becomes a better fighter tool without them. Another thing with the Wicked Medieval Morningstar is that you actually have a surprisingly good wrap for the price. It's definitely not the best and you will easily find better on more expensive products, but for this price, the wrap hasn't moved in an inch. After all the usage and hitting stuff, it still remains completely intact, and for that I'm actually really surprised. So the absolutely biggest flaw with the Morningstar is the metal spill you have on the pommel. So during production there was some metal residue that got stuck on the pommel, and this is actually quite sharp, so you can easily scratch your hand with this. But this is not a big thing to correct. You can just simply sandpaper this off, but I wanted to show you guys first so you know that with this product it can possibly happen. Though be warned, if you have to sandpaper your Morningstar, it will probably also take off some of the black coating, so you will see the actual metal color underneath, but at least you won't scratch your hand, so yeah. All things considered, this is actually a really cool and terrifying weapon, and for 50 bucks you get a lot to play with. It's really fun to smash things in your yard, and since you can take the spikes off, you almost get two weapons in one. So I think it's time to go try it out.